So we are back here again, roughly 1 year later, in Modern Warfare 2 2022. I put out a lot of videos talking about the SBMM, and I know this time around people are calling it EOMM, so it's engagement optimized matchmaking, instead of skill-based matchmaking, but it feels exactly the same as last year, but a little bit worse, in fact. So I'm just going to stick with skill-based matchmaking, that's what I'm going to call it. And yeah, as I said, it is worse than last year. I loaded up the Modern Warfare 3 beta for the very first time, jumped into a match of Ground War, didn't really enjoy it, quit out, went into my next match playing, I believe it was High Rise 24/7, and yeah, I got my arse absolutely handed to me. It was a complete sweat fest. Then I go into the next game being really negative in the previous one, and I do really well. Then doing really well, I go into the next match and I do okay. Then go into the next one, I get battered. Then go into the next one, I do really well. And it's not that I want bot lobbies or anything like that. It's just SBMM has been a big complaint for a long time within Call of Duty, and they've got the map voting system in Modern Warfare 3, but it makes no difference. Your entire lobby is still being disbanded after every single match, and it just seems as though every single game you do well, the next one you'll do poor, then you'll do well, and it's back and forth, and that is not an enjoyable experience, trying to keep as many players as possible close to a 1 KD as they can. They should have gone back to, because they've got a bunch of maps in from Modern Warfare 2 2009, they should have gone back to the classic matchmaking system where the lobby stays together after, people leave if they don't like that lobby, other players join, and it goes like that. The map voting system's there, they should have gone back to that, but instead they've got this modernized matchmaking system, and it's fucking awful, to say the least. It's a really, really horrible matchmaking system that just puts you off the game. And it seems as though it's just a new generation of people playing Call of Duty nowadays, because years and years ago, playing COD, like when I was in my teenage years, it was like everyone's running around, everyone's gunning, finding their classes and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. TDM, you'd have a couple of sweaty players in, like dominating the lobby, because TDM used to be like the easiest mode to play. Well, now TDM is pretty much a 1-for-1. You go in, you get a kill, you die, you get a kill, you die, you get a couple of kills, you die, then you die another couple of times, and it's just back and forth. And then you do really well in a lobby, you do really bad, really well, okay, really bad, and it's just such a stupid design to a matchmaking system. And in my opinion, it needs to go. They need to completely revamp the matchmaking system just so that everyone's not sitting at around a 1 KD. You don't want that in your game. You want the people with a high skill level being able to show that they have a high skill level and create a massive skill gap. And you want the people like me to be sat in these lobbies doing okay time and time again, not having one really good match and then one really bad match. You want it to be level so that you are basically, say you start off with 0 points. You play your first game, you finish 18 for 14, you get 1,000 skill points essentially. Then you play your next match, you do okay, you go up to 1,200, and then you're sat in lobbies around that skill level, because that way you're either going to start doing poorly, go back down against players that are a little bit worse than your current skill level, and then you'll go back up, and then it basically promotes players getting better at the game instead of players going against really, really good players and then really, really shit. The way they have it set up at the moment, it's going to be worse than what it was last year in Modern Warfare 2. There's going to be so many complaints when the game fully launches because the system they have in place is terrible for all sorts of players. You don't want to do okay in one match, go into your next one and have to get your sweatbands out, have to get your G Fuel ready, and basically be trying to compete at an esports level. You don't want that when you're playing casual matches of Call of Duty. Do the SBMM when you get ranked play and stuff in the game, but when it's casual playlists, it needs to be casual. You don't want people having to sweat every other match in order to get a decent result. But jumping into TDM, you've now just got players sat in corners doing nothing. The camping's even worse, and it gets worse year in, year out. I've played multiple matches of TDM now, and I've just seen time and time again, especially on its state, people find every corner they can possibly find and just go and pitch up their tents. It's awful. I'm going to say, based on the multiplayer beta, this is the worst Call of Duty they've released in years. I really have not enjoyed my time on this. I've got other videos coming up. I've recorded a bunch of matches, so I've got enough footage to talk over the top of them, and there will be other videos for the game on this channel. But I thought I'd start it off with the SBMM or the EOMM because it's a fucking disaster. It is such a horrible experience, and it was the same last year, and they haven't done anything to change it. And they're supposed to be this innovative franchise. I mean, they couldn't even innovate and create their own maps. They had to go and essentially remaster maps from 14 years ago. And this is what Call of Duty is going to be like, even going forwards, because nobody complains about it. You'll get a couple of people that do complain about it, but there's a lot of people that will just eat it up. They'll go out, buy the £100 edition of the game, sit there and play it for a couple of months, and then they'll never touch it again. It's actually really, really annoyed me to see this system come back, but even worse this year. But I want you guys to let me know what you think about SBMM or EOMM in the comments. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.